Well, the ministry of Ex-Catholics for Christ in our outreach in Glasgow. Well, what a beautiful day it is. We've suddenly arrived, ladies and gentlemen, and the sun's come out. Horrible morning this morning. But we, at the Barrowland Ballroom this morning, the famous Bible John murders, and couldn't resist coming to Blythewood Square. I said to James, we've got to come here because this was a famous murder that happened in this very building. Now, those of you who aren't aware or know too much about it, you may wish to sort of go on YouTube and find one of David Lean's films, 1949, called Madeline Smith. And there it is there, you can see Madeline Smith house. Now, Madeline Smith was the daughter of the family that lived in this house. I believe they were very prosperous Glaswegian merchants, pillars of society, strict Christian family, prayers in the morning, prayers in the evening. You'd need a full staff to run a place like this, and Madeline was the daughter. It seems that somehow on her travels, she was a lady of leisure, that she met this Frenchman who was an artist, and she slightly became under his wing, his enema, or whatever you call it. She was very much taken with him, and he with her. I think perhaps he was a philanderer, and he was trying to sort of meet her, possibly that she might have some money. But he would come when the family had gone to bed. This is in the film, and this is in the records as well of the trial. And he'd come through this very gate here, walk down those steps, walk along there, and there the maid of the house would wait for him at about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, let him in, and then Madeline would be waiting for him. She was having a full romantic affair with him then, and they would carry on with their rendezvous, as they used to call it then. And he'd come out here and go here. So this gate's exactly the same, and this is it here. And the amazing thing is they've called it Madeline Smith House. Now what happened then was that he gradually became ill. A doctor was called, and it seems that he was being slowly poisoned by Madeline. He'd finished with her, but she wanted her love letters back, as so often happens in this case, and he would not give them back. So, very cunning lady that she was, she sort of said, I will forgive you if we can get back together again. Whether he thought there'd be some more money, or whether he thought she would not pester him for letters, I don't know. But she was able to sort of keep trying to get her letters back. However, he had a friend that he shared accommodation with, possibly around here, who worked in the French consulates, who knew about this. And of course, when he died, he was convinced that his friend had been poisoned by Madeline Smith. Cut a long story short, there was a trial, famous trial. She probably would have been found guilty, she probably would have hung, but the family were able to retain a very expensive QC, Queen's Counsel as we call them, and the trial went on. And the verdict is very, very interesting, because in Scotland you are not guilty, or not proven. So all the evidence against Madeline Smith, who poisoned her lover, as it looks like she did, it was not proven. And she was able to walk free. The family disowned her, gave her a generous allowance, and she went to America and got involved with the women's suffrage movement. So that's the story of Madeline Smith. And as far as I know, it's the only country in the world where you have this not proven verdict. And that's why Madeline Smith walked it. So this is the house. She would recognise it straight away. Massive, great house. Could tell a lot of stories. And this is where it happened here. So it just shows you that if you're not living a Christian life, a life is laid down in the Bible, and you're carrying on these affairs and all sorts of other things that this couple are getting up to, this is what happens. I think really she probably would have hung, but she had a brilliant barrister. But of course, we'll answer for sins one day when we go before God for all thought, every thought, word and a deed. So this is the square. I believe they used to sort of have a stroll around this lovely square here. And this is the square. Beautiful. And it's a lovely day here. So we've actually come up to do some street work. We're going to get our banner up in a minute, give some Bible tracts out, get people saved. Well, God gets them saved, but we just try and point them in the way. But couldn't resist coming here. And the Barrowland Ballroom. And if you know anything about it, any of you Scots who are watching this who remember the case, please let me know, and I'll update the article, update the YouTube as well. So from this ministry, blessings from James and myself, and Maranatha.